Greetings, everyone. Today, we're diving into a transformative topic, generative AI and its role in the future of education. To set the stage, I'd like to begin with the perspective of Dr. Pedro Noguera, Dean of the USC Center School of Education. In his introduction of the Critical Thinking and Ethics in the Age of Generative AI in Education manuscript, Dr. Noguera paints a vivid picture of a future classroom where AI doesn't replace teachers, but supports them in creating personalized learning experiences. He envisions AI as a tool that helps educators design tailored learning plans for each student, drawing from both academic performance and individual interests. This vision extends beyond the traditional roles of teaching, where AI allows students to become creators of knowledge, not just consumers, and empowers teachers to become facilitators of learning. Noguera emphasizes that while there are concerns about plagiarism and copyright infringement with AI, the real focus should be on harnessing AI's potential to address the complex problems of our time. Generative AI has the power to nurture critical thinkers who are equipped not just with knowledge, but with the tools to generate innovative ideas and solutions. However, Noguera is clear that as we move forward, ethical considerations must guide us. Issues like data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the digital divide are central to how we responsibly implement AI in educational settings. AI should augment human capabilities, not replace the emotional and relational aspects of teaching. Now, with Noguera's introduction in mind, I want to explore 3 approaches to adopting AI in education: deny and detect. An approach that focuses on identifying and preventing AI use in the classroom, primarily concerned with ethical concerns such as cheating. Embrace and enhance. This is the path of integrating AI into teaching to support both educators and students, allowing for collaborative, AI-enhanced learning experiences. And finally, ignore and avoid. This third option represents a stance of completely avoiding AI, whether out of skepticism or a desire to preserve traditional teaching methods. As we explore these options, I encourage you to think critically about where you stand and how AI could enhance or challenge the work we do in education. I am going to hand off this portion of the presentation to my colleague, Lorraine.
Thank you, Edward. Before we discuss the 3 options for adopting AI in the classroom, let's pause for a moment to consider a powerful analogy. Imagine the classroom as an interstate highway system. A highway with no speed limits or road signs would be chaotic and unpredictable, just like a classroom with no syllabus, pacing guide, or clear expectations. Students, like drivers on that unregulated road, would have no sense of direction or understanding of what success looks like. Now, let's take this comparison further. Exit ramps on a highway provide options for drivers to take different routes if needed. In the classroom, these are the support services we offer, such as tutoring or counseling. Students who need an alternate path to success can use these exit ramps to avoid getting stuck or lost. Much like road signs help drivers track their progress, pacing guides help students see how far they've come and how far they have to go in the course. Similarly, a syllabus is like the state's driving laws, outlining what's expected, how to handle obstacles, and what actions to take when things go wrong, much like knowing how to respond when your car breaks down or when traffic slows. Then there are detours and unexpected changes in learning. Just as drivers may face construction or accidents that force them to take new routes, students sometimes encounter shifts in curriculum or new challenges in the classroom. These detours, while inconvenient at first, often provide unexpected learning opportunities that build resilience and adaptability. Similarly, highways often have construction zones, where drivers must slow down and navigate carefully through ongoing work. In the classroom, these construction zones represent the moments when students are building new skills. It's a time to slow down and carefully work through difficult concepts, just as we would maneuver cautiously through a construction zone. Lastly, consider the role of a GPS system. It guides drivers, showing them the best routes and providing updates on road conditions. In education, technology acts as our GPS, whether it's a learning management system, AI tools, or digital resources, helping students stay on course and providing them with the guidance they need to succeed. Without these tools, students can feel as lost as a driver without a map. This analogy underscores the need for structure, support, and flexibility in both our classrooms and on the road. Now, with this framework in mind, let's move into the 3 approaches we can take when adopting AI in education. Now, I am going to pass things back to Edward to discuss the 3 options in AI adoption in the classroom.
Thanks, Lorraine. Following our discussion of Pedro Noguera's vision of AI in education and the analogy of the interstate highway as a metaphor for structuring classroom experiences, let's now turn to William Swartout's perspective on how educators can respond to generative AI in the classroom. William Swartout is the Chief Science Officer at USC's Institute for Creative Technologies, and his expertise lies in using AI to create systems that enhance human interaction and learning. His work with generative AI places him at the forefront of AI's educational applications. In his article, Generative AI and Education, Deny and Detect or Embrace and Enhance, Swartout discusses 2 contrasting approaches to how educators can engage with AI tools like ChatGPT. The first approach is what he calls deny and detect. This approach is grounded in concern that students will use generative AI to cheat or complete assignments without truly learning the material. In response, some educators and institutions have blocked access to AI systems and developed detectors to identify AI-generated work. However, Swartout argues that the deny and detect approach, although well-intentioned, will ultimately not serve students well. The problem is twofold. First, AI detection technology is inconsistent and can produce false positives, accusing students of cheating when they haven't. Second, and more importantly, denying students access to AI throughout their education will leave them unprepared for a world where AI is a vital tool. As Swartout puts it, if one tells students they cannot use generative AI throughout their schooling, and then graduate them into a world where it is extensively used, the students have not really been prepared for the world they will enter. In this sense, the deny and detect approach does not align with our responsibility to prepare students for the future. Swartout suggests a more forward-thinking approach, embrace and enhance. This involves embracing AI as a tool that can enhance learning experiences while teaching students how to use AI responsibly. Rather than seeing AI as a threat, educators can incorporate it into their teaching strategies, allowing students to develop critical thinking and creativity alongside AI tools. For example, students could use AI to brainstorm ideas, critique AI-generated content, or explore alternative perspectives in their assignments. By embracing AI in this way, we prepare students for the realities of a world where AI will play an increasingly significant role, both in their careers and daily lives. While these 2 options, deny and detect and embrace and enhance, represent the primary responses that educators have considered, Dr. Lane Freeman proposes a third approach, ignore and avoid. This strategy involves simply ignoring AI, hoping it won't disrupt the classroom too much, and avoiding engaging with it altogether. However, he believes that ignoring AI does a disservice to both educators and students. AI is already here, and it's influencing how we think, work, and learn. By choosing not to engage with it, we miss an opportunity to adapt and innovate, and we risk leaving our students unprepared for a world where AI tools are pervasive in every industry. In summary, Swartout presents us with 2 clear options for how we might address AI in the classroom. We can try to deny and detect, limiting its use and trying to catch students who misuse it, or we can embrace and enhance, integrating AI into our teaching to prepare students for the future. However, I would caution against a third option, ignore and avoid, which leaves us unprepared and misses an opportunity to guide our students into the future. I will now ask Lorraine to discuss how the analogy of the highway system and the classroom aligns with the approaches of AI adoption.
Thanks, Edward. Now that we've covered these options, let's move on to discuss how we might practically apply the embrace and enhance approach in our classrooms. Now, I'd like to ask everyone to consider how the 3 images of highways correspond to the different options we've discussed for adopting AI in the classroom. These images represent the various choices educators can make when navigating the use of AI in their instruction. Let's start with the first image showing a highway with no signs or speed limits. This image aligns with the ignore and avoid option. Much like a highway with no signs or regulations, if we choose to ignore AI in our classrooms, we leave students without clear direction or support. They'll navigate their learning on their own, potentially going too fast or too slow, missing out on opportunities for guidance, just as drivers without road signs might miss crucial information. Ignoring AI leaves students unprepared for the world they will face, which increasingly relies on AI technologies. Next, Consider the second image with a 45 miles per hour speed limit sign. This image represents the deny and detect approach. In this scenario, students, like drivers on this highway, are capable of going faster and achieving more, but restrictions are in place, limiting their ability to use AI tools in their learning. Much like how drivers could reach their destination faster, but are held back by speed limits, students are constrained by policies that block or restrict AI use, even though AI could help them become more efficient and productive learners. This approach, while well-meaning, doesn't allow students to harness AI's full potential. Finally, the third image shows the same highway, but this time with a 75 miles per hour speed limit. This image reflects the embrace and enhance option. By embracing AI in the classroom, we allow students to go farther, faster, and with greater opportunities for success. Just like the highway with the higher speed limit encourages drivers to safely reach their destinations quicker and more efficiently, incorporating AI into our teaching can help students achieve their learning goals more effectively. With the right guidance, AI can be a tool that ensures all students are given the chance to succeed at a pace that suits their needs, preparing them for the road ahead. Finally, I'll pass things off to Edward to wrap this conversation up.
Thanks again, Lorraine. As we reflect on these three images and the different approaches to adopting AI in the classroom, this information is not here to tell instructors which approach to take. The goal is to encourage instructors to think critically about the role they play as educators and the impact each approach could have on their students. That being said, it is strongly advised not to adopt the ignore and avoid approach. Why? Because by ignoring AI, we run the risk of failing our students. Picture this: a student who earns an A in your class, but did so by relying heavily on AI to complete assignments without actually learning the material. Now compare that to a student who earns a C, but has truly engaged with the content and understands it well. That C student could have been an A student if they had been encouraged to use AI as a tool, a way to enhance their learning rather than replace it. Generative AI is already here, and it's only going to become more integral to the world our students are stepping into. It's our responsibility to prepare them for that reality, and we can only do that by thoughtfully integrating AI into our teaching in ways that benefit them, while guiding them to use it responsibly and effectively. So, as you think about these options, deny and detect, embrace and enhance, and ignore and avoid. Consider not just what's easiest for you as an educator, but what will truly serve your students in the long run.